Welcome! Today, we're going to talk about something so important, navigating the journey of immigration with your children. We'll be looking at how you can help turn the very real challenges they face into incredible opportunities for growth and family strength.
So let's start with this quote, because it really gets to the heart of everything. So many of the struggles our kids go through are hidden beneath the surface. Understanding those unspoken feelings, well, that's the absolute first step to helping your child not just adjust, but really truly thrive.
Look, every family who makes this journey does it with big dreams for a better future, right? But for a kid, this exciting new beginning also brings a new and, well, often pretty confusing reality that they have to figure out every single day.
And this right here perfectly shows that gap between the dream and the day-to-day. On one side, you have everything you hoped for: safety, opportunity, a fresh start. But on the other side is what your child might be living with: wrestling with a new language, feeling the stress of a totally different school, and that deep loneliness that comes from feeling isolated.
So these are the kinds of hurdles we can actually see, right? The struggle to communicate, missing old friends and familiar activities, and that constant, intense pressure to just fit in. And if these things aren't handled with care, they can easily bubble up as irritability or mood swings, putting a strain on the whole family.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. Because underneath all those visible challenges, there are these deeper, invisible feelings that kids often have no idea how to talk about. Think about it. They might be carrying a constant fear of being rejected by new kids, or this confusing guilt, feeling torn between their old home and their new one. They also pick up on our stress as parents, and then they feel like they have to hide their own sadness so they don't add to our worries. That is a really heavy load for a little person to carry all by themselves.
This is probably the most important shift in thinking we can make. When you see your child acting out, getting angry, or refusing to go to school, try to see it for what it really is. It's not defiance. It's a signal. It's their way of shouting for help when they don't have the words.
And here's the good news. You are not powerless in this, not at all. There's a really clear, practical roadmap you can follow to help, and it all starts with simple things you can do every single day.
So step 1 in our roadmap is all about empowering your child out in the world. When it comes to language, don't just send them to a class. Make learning it a fun family thing. With school, get in there and meet the teachers right away. And for making friends, things like sports or clubs can be a game changer for building those first new connections.
Now this next step is huge. It's about helping them build an identity that feels whole, not torn in two. Keep your home traditions alive. Cook the food, play the music, but also explore the new culture together. And it is so important to let them grieve what they've lost. Let them talk about their old friends. And please protect them from role reversal. That's when kids start taking on adult worries about money or paperwork. They need to be kids.
But what happens when all that stress just becomes too much? It's really important to know how to recognize when a child's normal struggles might be tipping over into something more serious, like depression.
We're coming back to this idea because it is the absolute foundation for everything. If you see lasting changes in your child's behavior, it is not a report card on your parenting, and it's not a flaw in their character. It is simply a signal of deep emotional pain that needs your compassion.
And it is so vital to know what those signals look like. Kids show depression very differently than adults. It might not look like sadness, it might look like constant anger and irritability, or suddenly losing interest in video games or sports they used to love. Noticing these signs early is absolutely key.
So if you do see these signs, here's a clear 4-step plan. Number 1, stay calm. Your patience is everything. 2, find quiet moments to talk, maybe on a drive or while making dinner. 3, don't ever hesitate to get professional help. That's what school counselors and doctors are there for. And 4, please take care of yourself. You just can't pour from an empty cup.
Because at the end of the day, the single most powerful tool you have to support your child is right there, inside your own home. It's all about creating an environment that feels stable, safe, and healing.
This chart shows you the ingredients, and just look at what the biggest pieces are: family bonding and healthy routines. It makes so much sense, right? Predictability calms anxiety, and connection builds security. This is the foundation that makes them feel strong enough to face all the challenges outside. And let's just talk about screen time for a second. I get it. When a kid feels lonely, screens can feel like an easy friend. But way too much screen time can actually make irritability and stress even worse. So, setting some simple boundaries like no phones in the bedroom at night can make a world of difference for their sleep and their mood. And that really is the main takeaway here. By being patient, by being proactive, and by staying informed, you're doing so much more than just getting your child through a tough time. You are actively building their resilience and creating a stronger, closer family in the process.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to mull over. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Maybe it's just deciding to have dinner together with no screens, or taking a 10-minute walk after school. What's one small, simple routine you can start this week to create that healing space for your family?